Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. I really do feel at times that we are maybe not even confused. I don't think that Trinidadians are confused. I think at times we like to we like hardship in this country. That's what we like. We like hardship in Trinidad and Tobago. We love it when the country is just going through turmoil and when we have nothing to offer ourselves. That's what we like. Because I cannot understand how a government could be working and the people still be so unsatisfied because the government is working. And then we have people like Makila Pandey that want to come out and talk. And ironically, in this whole situation now with Venezuela, imagine Fishermen and Friends of the Sea President Gary Aboud want to talk to say that Kamla Prasad Bissessa is the one that blew up the vessel. And Trinidad and Tobago is the one that blew up the vessel. I'm like, what? What, Gary? Listen to this clip, Trinidad. Listen to and this. What is concerning, again, is that the media in Trinidad and Tobago is allowing garbage like this to circulate. That's what the media doing. When PNM in charge, there's no way CNC3 doing this. No way. But listen to this.
In a war, there's no due process. So when I say it's a declaration of war against Venezuela, I mean that our Prime Minister has said, kill them all violently. That's what Israel is saying in Palestine. That's what the United States is doing by supplying Israel with armaments to blow Palestine out of the earth. And now, we just blew up a Venezuelan vessel. If Venezuela chooses to respond and to defend their people, wouldn't we be in an outright situation of war?
Now, just to be clear, we didn't blow up anything. The United States blew up that vessel.
Oh, certainly we did.
Agreed. We didn't condemn it.
Listen, you might want to be innocent and gullible about it. I am not going to play that game. Trinidad and Tobago blew up that vessel. We gave Americans the right to come into our territory, usurp our independence. We are now back to the days of slavery where there's no flag, there's no parliament. We have surrendered to the United States. And what they have done is murder those people. I would argue, with great respect, that Kamla Prasad Bissessa should be answerable for war crimes against humanity, and she should go to the International Criminal Court. We cannot say that Trinidad and Tobago...
That's well, we're a couple of steps too far, but let's go into something.
Imagine, that is Gary Aboud, Trinidad and Tobago. That is Gary Aboud that is saying that Kamla Prasad Bissessa should be answerable for war crimes. And Trinidad and Tobago blew up a vessel out at sea. We did that. Gary, where the equipment? Where's your proof? Where's your data, Gary, that Trinidad and Tobago is the ones that blew up a vessel and that Kamla Prasad Bissessa is answerable for war crimes? War crimes. Kamla Prasad Bissessa answerable for war crimes. Listen, we run around this country, and this one is for the Commissioner of Police, Alistair, Mr. Alistair. This one is for you. Because we run around this country locking up people like Christmas lists and saying that, hey, treason, not even treason. What we locked him up for? We locked up Christmas lists and we talk about, same thing we arrest Sabga, not Sabga, this guy for. What is it? It's, oh my gosh. Well, y'all understand. We go around and we're locking up persons like Christmas lists and all of those persons. I think you should pay a little bit of attention to Gary Aboud a little bit for what nonsense. You accusing the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago of war crimes. War crimes. You accusing the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bissessa of Maybe it's because she didn't give him a position in government, or she not taking notes from him, or she not listening to him. Something, I don't know. You didn't get money or something, Gary Aboud. I don't know how you could accuse a prime minister of such, especially your prime minister, because she is your prime minister. I don't think we accuse Keith Rowley of war crimes. We say that Keith Rowley was the worst. We say that Keith Rowley is a dictator. We call him a dictator 100%. But war crimes? And she should answer to international court? And CNC3 allow that to continue? When they first heard you say that nonsense that we blow up a vessel, that should have been the indication to take you off TV. Take him off. No one wants to hear from him. I think the fishermen, the friends of the sea need to come out and publicly remove themselves from Gary Aboud. That's what they should do. They should distance themselves from Gary Aboud, because that's nonsense. A lot of persons are asking for the number. It is 4833-3208. The phone lines are open, 4833-3208. You can call and give your opinion, call in, say what's on your mind, etc., etc. But war crimes, and that we blow up the vessel. And I want to ask Makila Pandey, because, I mean, everybody seen in the opposition seem to share the same viewpoint. You share the same viewpoint as Gary Aboud? Let me ask you that. Hi, good night, you're live.
Good night.
Hi, go ahead, you're live.
Alright, so what I'm saying with the situation with Venezuela and Kamala, right, is that now I understand we have a serious crime situation in this country, right? But putting all their trust in a country who has proven itself to be unreliable is not, I would not consider that to be a good decision. Because what will come and happen if America decides today, tomorrow, well, alright, they no longer want to conduct operations in the Caribbean Sea. Then we have a prime minister who practically make enemies with our closest neighbor, right? And we also know America don't have the best reputation of when they get themselves involved in a conflict, they leave the country. Like, for example, like we're going in Afghanistan, Syria, and stuff like that. It don't really work out the way how they expect it to work out, right? And in my opinion, I find the Prime Minister should more take a diplomatic approach first before making the comments that she made. So, instead of trying to be, like, I understand I'll be aggressive and stuff like that, but I don't have to be so aggressive. Because you could support the operation that America is doing, but at the same time, it could also say, well, yeah, we understand what it is, what they're doing, but all your social, it's no way where you and Nigeria could meet and all get talk and discuss this and that, rather than, you know, both sides preparing for war. Alright? So, yeah, that is my opinion on it.
Understood.
Also, if America shut down boats that allegedly had drugs on it, right? Everybody, that is what everybody's saying, right? But here's the thing about everybody not realizing, everybody quiet on this point, right? And that point is, right, America shut down that boat in international waters, right? Then that same America, right, released a press statement stating that two fighter jets, Venezuelan fighter jets, flew past one of their warships in international waters. So tell me, right, how a country flying jets close to your ship in international waters is provoking in a kind of way. Because you just not shoot down a Venezuelan boat that allegedly again had drugs, right, in international waters, and the Venezuelan military decided, you know what, they're going to take two other fighter jets and just one flew past. But that is provoking. That provoking, right? Also, let's have that address, right? School, right? Police being in schools now.
Well, we're gonna get to the police in schools in just a short bit. I understand that you want to get it, but we get to that in just a short bit. All right?
All right.
All right, brother. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a lot to address Trinidad and Tobago and to unpack from that. Here's some facts. Some facts is that whether or not the U.S. intervene or they don't intervene, sooner rather than later, Venezuela may have some problems with Trinidad and Tobago regardless of. Here's why. Trinidad and Tobago, we have a Venezuelan migrant crisis on our hands. That is what we have. That's a known fact. We have a Venezuelan migrant crisis on our hands. We need to be willing to deal with the Venezuelan situation either now or later. Later is not too fruitful for Trinidad and Tobago simply because we have a gun crisis on our hands as well.
Notorious Venezuelan.
CNC3 ran this article speaking about a Venezuelan gang crisis right here in Trinidad and Tobago, where Venezuelan gangs infiltrated Trinidad and Tobago and joined up with other gangs. It's either A, we deal with that now because part of the problem, part of the mandate that you voted for this government on is the crime fighting agenda by the United National Congress. Our crime fighting agenda is not just a local crime fighting agenda, but one international. Not only that Trinidad and Tobago has to deal with, but unfortunately, the entire Caribbean have to deal with. We birthed ISIS members right here from Trinidad and Tobago. Who addressed those issues? Was it addressed under Keith Rowley? Was it addressed under the former PPA administration? Was it addressed under Basio Pandey, Patrick Manning? Who addressed the issues? Not one person. But Kamala Persad-Bissessar is coming today and is telling you that we are going to face the issues head on together. But Trinidad and Tobago, we're too afraid. What Kamala Persad-Bissessar should be doing is what the former political leader of the PNM did, and that is dance with Maduro, engage in diplomatic talks with Maduro, just like this, dance with Maduro, dance with a narco-terrorist, because that's better than threatening Maduro or threatening Venezuela or telling the United States that we support your crime-fighting agenda. And if you want to put ships in Trinidad to do whatever, all right? If you want to help us in that agenda, we support it. We vexed because Kamala said that. We vexed because Kamala said kill them all violently, and she was referring to drug traffickers, not just innocent people, but drug traffickers and human traffickers. We don't want that. I think we have a call on the line. Hi, good night. 1 second, I can't hear you. 1 second. See what's going on. All right. Hi, good night.
Hi, good night.
Yes.
Good night, David.
Good night. Go ahead.
Right. I just want to go through a couple of things. One, this thing with Venezuela. The problem is Trinidadians have become so accustomed to, as you said, dancing with Maduro under the previous government. Nothing that the Venezuelan did, right, could have ever gotten the Keith Rowley administration to go against them, right? Another thing, CARICOM. They're so stressing on CARICOM should have a united voice and whatever. They are members of CARICOM who already sided with Maduro, right? We are a free, independent country. We can have our opinion. The problem with Trinidadians is that they're so afraid now that it's a big switch from saying nothing and doing nothing where Venezuela is concerned. That now that we have a prime minister who is willing to stand up, right? Who is willing to stand up for this country, some people have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Right? I am really, really upset where CARICOM is concerned. Right? I think they are a total waste of time because they benefit. And that's the problem. Those are things that people don't want to see. Right? The ones who are supporting Maduro and his regime is the ones who benefit, who gets the oil and gas and whatever from Venezuela.
Greatly.
You understand?
Yep.
So obviously they don't want to buy the hand that feeds them, right? But somebody has to put an end to this thing. You can't just have your borders, people that's flooding in your borders, and you mustn't have a say. You must say nothing. Just let them come in. That is ridiculous. people like Michaela Pandey and they who have been sleeping and who have been hugging up and kissing with Rowley and they for the past 10 years, all of a sudden, no, right? This next gentleman from Moda Live or whatever it is, he has to be a madman. He has to be a madman. We have mad people in Trinidad. We have serious problem with mental health in Trinidad. These people can't be in their right mind and talk any kind of nonsense that you hear. And the thing about it is that these national media houses are giving these people voices. They are the first people that they go to.
Yep.
Right? When anything happens in this country, right? And the final thing I wanna talk about in respect to Venezuela. Have anybody noticed the only time the Venezuelan defense minister and Maduro started acting up was when the PNM lost the general election.
Yes.
And I'll tell you the reason for that. The reason for that is because the hand that was feeding them the US and doing all the underhand stuff could no longer continue.
They probably think we forget about Paria.
No, you see, that's the thing about the Trinidadians have short memory, and that's a big problem in Trinidad. You go to any part of the world, right, and a foreign country threatens their leaders, their presidents, their prime minister, their country itself, right, and the entire country comes together to defend their country, not in Trinidad. Why is that? Why is that? Because you have always, since I was a little boy, I am almost 60 years, since I was a little boy, my parents used to always tell me, Trinidadians are yellow belly people. We will talk as much, but when it comes to action, we will not stand up for ourselves. And that is exactly what is happening now. I am ashamed to hear people, right, talking about, oh, Venezuela this, Venezuela that, Venezuela what. Come on, they're a sovereign country. We are a sovereign country, right? No other country is supposed to be able to just threaten their neighbors.
And
right?
ironically, this is also because on screen playing right now is a Venezuelan tanker during COVID running over its people. It's the same administration, you know. Nothing changed.
No, but the Rowley administration didn't say anything about that.
Correct.
Penny didn't say or couldn't say anything about that because she can't speak properly, right? But that's besides the point, right? It is ridiculous. And these people coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden for the past 9.5 years, the kind of foolishness that happened to our own Trinidadian people by our own Trinidadian government.
Yeah.
And nobody said anything.
Okay.
Nobody said anything. You have 320 CPEP contracts that you canceled, right? Each one of those contracts supposed to carry 10 people. Tell me how is 10,000 people went home from CPEP. But the problem is that this government is falling into the same trap that they fell into when it was the People's Partnership. You see, communication with the public and letting the public know exactly what is going on, they are falling into that trap. So they are leaving room for speculation.
I can't lie. That's so true. And I'm not going to lie on air. I've said it on air. I said that the communications unit for the government needs to enhance. And I'm hoping right after budget, something could be done for communications because it's needed. It's needed.
It is needed badly. The things they're allowing things to spin out of control with social media now and the opposition.
Correct.
And I say oppositions plural.
Yeah. Correct.
To the government. They
Correct.
have to do. Let me give someone else a chance. Have
Not
a
a
good night.
problem. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling. All right, Trinidad and Tobago, 100% factual, 100% true, and I really appreciate that caller calling in and saying that. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome to SNS Facade Group of Companies, a dynamic community-driven group serving multiple industries with excellence and integrity. At SNS Facade Supermarket, we're committed to community, providing vessel export delivery, custom food services, local delivery, wholesale solutions, fresh produce, in-house bakery, and premium meats. Discover relaxation reimagined at Sunset Beach Resort, with beachfront stays and dining that blends local flavor with ocean views, perfect for families and couples. At Cuts and Curve Fitness Center, where health meets lifestyle, with personal training, meal plans, a full gym, and on-site cafe. The SNS Facade Group of Companies, building value, trust, and community across everything we do.
Your child is topping the class or just keeping up, stronger comprehension skills gives them the edge. That's why Learn Smart TT has created an online comprehension and poetry course. This is completely self-paced with all tools accessed online. It's 30 passages, 30 poems. They can be downloaded or answered on our site. From there, students get access to answer sheets that have detailed options of how the answers could have been written. No other product on the market has this. In addition, they get access to a video tutorial with an expert teacher walking them through the passage or poems using high visuals and techniques to ensure they derive meaning. Also, we model how we derived each answer so they can do the same. If you want your child to enjoy all of these benefits and propel in comprehension, SCA, and general academic life, click the link above and register for this course and join hundreds of parents and students who are benefiting.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you so much for joining us once more on another week in review. And you know, I must agree with the last caller. Communications is something that the government really do need to work on. And as I said, I am hoping that after budget, it will be better. The phone lines are still open, 4833-208. Some persons were trying to call on TikTok, and I would allow for that on TikTok. So if you want to join, you could go ahead and hit the request button. No need to put on video. You could do your audio. That's absolutely fine. But as I said, we here in Trinidad and Tobago, we seem to be afraid of the real issues. The real issues in Trinidad and Tobago is that crime and criminality too high. It's too high. Crime has been out of control for over 10 years. In fact, it is the very Trinidad and Tobago Police Service that literally said that crime went down for the month of August. And to go back to just a little bit to this video here with Makila Pandey, because I didn't read the post, so many persons are probably wondering, okay, what was so bad with the video? Let me read the post. Makila Pandey, as political leader of the Patriotic Front, I tend to call it at times the Pathetic Front, but the Patriotic Front political leader Makila Pandey visited Cedros today. Quote, in a viral post, Makila Pandey said, quote, saw it myself. What did she see? Makila, what did you see? Because the headline on the Makila post, saw it myself. I'm being told that it's for the first time because Makila has no business going down to Cedros. She does not care about Cedros. She saw it fit now to pretend to traverse the Cedros to take what is it? How long is the clip? A 58-second clip, a 58-second video with her walking on the board, right? Walking walking in Cedros, 58 seconds. But saw it myself. The tough talk, quoting her, the tough talk doesn't match the reality on the ground. Excuse? Excuse? The tough talk doesn't match the reality on the ground. How long the tough talk going on for now? 2 weeks, roughly? It's since the 2nd, right, of September, roughly. 2nd of September. Let's say the 1st of September, since the month starts. We 10 days in the month. 10 days. Makila, you as hopeless as the people in Trinidad and Tobago who telling the government that hey, they're expecting to see several changes. The price of gas ain't go down yet. You're as hopeless and as irrelevant as those persons because what you're expecting in 10 days. Anyway, quote, I visited the Cedrus Coast Guard facility on Saturday, which today, Trinidad and Tobago, today, in a response to the Newsday, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar said, and I quote, the police have increased their monitoring of illegal immigrants involved in drug and human trafficking. We are working to upgrade the Cedrus Coast Guard facility. You hear that? I'm talking to everybody around, man. The Prime Minister said, and I quote, we are working, not it has been upgraded. She said, and I quote Makila Pandey, so close the fridge door, Makila. Close it. The Prime Minister said, we are working to upgrade the Cedrus Coast Guard facility and have dispatched more vessels in the area. And in saying that, she shared this photo on WhatsApp because you refused, Makila Pandey, to share what the Prime Minister say because all you on is 58 seconds of fame. Right? She shared this photo and she shared that they have already dispatched some Coast Guard units down there or vessels down there. But you continue. You said, another small boat sits idle at the dock, unable to operate because it has no fuel. That's this video she's referring to, and this vessel that is parked up there. She said it have no fuel. We know. Every citizen in Trinidad and Tobago know it. The Coast Guard never have fuel. But unfortunately, in your 58-second video or in your post rant, you fail to acknowledge that this is going on for some time. And I know, Makila Pandey, that you are very much poetic when it comes to your speech, and you are very much founded in your vocabulary. So you purposely leaving out information here when it comes to it has been going on under the PNM, and you're calling on the government to maybe assist in doing something more to do something. It lacks substance, and that's why you're at the subject of attack tonight, because it lacks substance. Makila said, and I quote, the vessel is at sea is tasked with guarding the entire southwestern peninsula. This is insufficient to protect our vulnerable coastline from illegal guns, drugs, and human trafficking. Even more concerning, quote, the Coast Guard has no vehicles for patrolling or rapid response. Now, I'd like to make sure and make it abundantly clear that under the People's National Movement, and sorry that I keep going back because it's been 4 months now, Rowley out of power, or Stuart Young, which one you rather me say? Which one is more politically correct for you, Makila Pandey? Rowley or Stuart Young? But it is 4 months that they have been gone, and they left Trinidad and Tobago in a mess. In fact, Makila Pandey, you acting as though Kamala Persad-Bissessar did, like it's the first time she's talking about protecting the borders. The 2020 campaign was a dome, and we will secure our maritime borders. That was Kamala Persad-Bissessar's campaign and mandate. The country did not vote for it. It is 4 months in power, Makila Pandey. What do you expect the government to do? Magically grow money on a tree? That's what the government needs to grow money on a tree. That's what Kamala, is your fault. In fact, Kamala, is your fault. Everything here is your fault, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, apparently. The The Venezuelan situation in Trinidad and Tobago is because Kamala Persad-Bissessar, when she was opposition, did not protect Trinidad and Tobago borders. It is Kamala Persad-Bissessar that allowed for 14 to 16 to 50, how much ever is politically correct for everybody outside there, how much ever is correct. It's Kamala Persad-Bissessar who brought the Venezuelans in illegally. I forgot that. Keith Rowley is the savior for Trinidad and Tobago. It is Kamala Persad-Bissessar that sent back OPVs. It's Kamala Persad-Bissessar that did not utilize the helicopter for surveillance. It's Kamala sent that. It's Kamala who was spending $25 million behind body cameras, apparently. It's Kamala Persad-Bissessar's fault. Hi, good night, your life.
Yeah, good night.
Go ahead.
No. Now, what I may agree with is that PNM did not do good to address the situation, right? Now, what I find the last administration did was started way more in protecting the borders, especially what's going on with the illegal immigrants and stuff like that, right? Now, the statement Michaela family they had made, right? Now, I understand and what she experienced, and I always tell everybody, right? At the end of the day, everybody has to cut this present administration some slack because at the end of the day, they're winning for performance, right? The last administration was there for 9 years, right? They came and then they lost the last election and now the UNC come and they take over, right? So people have to give them time. Like, for example, people complaining about why they're not doing this, why they're not doing that. People have to understand too that we're still running on our budget from what was presented by the last administration, right?
Correct.
So, this present budget that's coming up here, people will get to see exactly what it is the UNC plan to address certain things, right? Now, that do not say that it has certain things that they cannot be criticized for, because I said the topic that tonight is about immigration, right? Well, that whole Venezuela and the situation, right? Alright. Now, as I said, because I called earlier, I told you my perspective and stuff on that whole situation, right? Now, with illegal immigrants, right? Now, the Coast Guard might not have vehicles and stuff, right? But I remember when Gary Griffith was commissioner of police, he did launch a police unit that used to do boat patrols, right, along the border. I don't know if that still is a thing or whatever, but if the Coast Guard, the police service, and the defense force could join forces and utilize their various resources, right, we could actually secure our borders, because technically we could buy 5 boats, we could buy 10 boats, but if we're not properly using or utilizing the stuff that we are buying and purchasing, how we will expect to make things work now? And I just always say, right, before you go to buy this and do this and them kind of thing, first you analyze the situation, you see what you could do and what you cannot do, because as Michaela Pandey was saying, he's saying that the Coast Guard lack patrol, they call it patrol vehicles and them kind of thing. If you need to Coast Guard for that, just have the police and the Coast Guard run operations, however the case is, and all your work to suit and them kind of thing. You don't have to buy new vehicles for the Coast Guard to have just to do that, because at the end of the day we have 6,000 police police officers, and we have another 5,000-6,000 defense force, and defense force already do nothing much. So you can utilize them for them ground patrols and all them kind of things. Plus, they can use the advantage as you're in a state of emergency, because now, as on a state of emergency, the defense force and stuff have powers of arrest and all them kind of things. So yeah, all that the government could do and stuff like that. Now again, my opinion still remains almost the same as the situation with the government towards this situation. I find personally the government should more take a diplomatic approach, right? To support the operation, right? But at the same time you're saying, well, yeah, we might be supported here, but is there any way that could come to the table and we could discuss this, bring the leaders of the region, countries in the region, and hold a meeting and discuss some kind of way, a way forward to the situation, because at the end of the day, right? Because believe it or not, right? Whether you support the government or not, at the end of the day, the government has to realize that if America decides today, tomorrow, that they no longer want to be in the Caribbean state, now we go be in a even weaker position now in, because our own allies, CARICOM countries, already done dislike us already. And statements that this Prime Minister, well, Kamala is making, well, Mrs. the Honorable Kamala Persad is making towards our CARICOM neighbors is not so good, because you're just turning all your allies and them kind of and you're practically putting all your faith in the United States, right? And which I already don't say doesn't have the best reputation in being reliable, right? And at the end of the day, I would tell people, because we didn't comment on that, I would tell people, give Kamala and the UNC a chance. At the end of the day, we've been in power for 4 months. They have 5 years to go, and we will see, right? We will see.
Lovely. Understood, brother. I'm running out of time. I do apologize. I'm running out of time, but I had to continue. I have another break to take.
All right, no problem.
All right, thanks so much. Listen, there is absolutely no consultation needed to be taking place with Venezuela. None at all. None. It is Venezuela that threatened Guyana. It is Venezuela that threatened Trinidad and Tobago in regards to the fishermen. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, at this point, I'm going to play this again for the people, but Kamala Persad-Bissessar at this point had literally said, touch one, touch all.
To Maduro tonight is, if you interfere with the Guyanese people, you interfere with the people of Trinidad and Tobago. You touch one, and you touch all. We fully support the people of Guyana in this crisis.
So we had fully supported Guyana, and we could only ask for the same thing. This is proper leadership. We are not playing games. Whether or not Trinidad and Tobago is scared because Venezuela right there or they're not right there, it needed to happen. It's better it happen now than later. There's nothing to be afraid of, whether or not the USA or not. In fact, it wasn't Donald Trump in charge when Kamala Persad-Bissessar said this. It was Joe Biden. And Joe Biden had a different approach when it came to Venezuela. He actually was allowing for Trinidad and Tobago, the Keith Rowley administration, to engage in business with Venezuela. We are saying, I am saying today, and in part, the government through Kamala Persad-Bissessar as Prime Minister is saying absolutely no. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
If your child doesn't understand what they read, SCA becomes 10 times harder. That's why Learn Smart TT has created an online comprehension and poetry course. This is completely self-paced with all tools accessed online. It's 30 passages, 30 poems. They can be downloaded or answered on our site. From there, students get access to answer sheets that have detailed options of how the answers could have been written. No other product on the market has this. In addition, they get access to a video tutorial with an expert teacher walking them through the passage or poems using high visuals and techniques to ensure they derive meaning. Also, we model how we derived each answer so they can do the same. If you want your child to enjoy all of these benefits and propel in comprehension, SCA, and general academic life, click the link above and register for this course and join hundreds of parents and students who are benefiting.
Welcome to SNS Persad Group of Companies, a dynamic community-driven group serving multiple industries with excellence and integrity. At SNS Prasad Supermarket, we're committed to community, providing vessel export delivery, custom food services, local delivery, wholesale solutions, fresh produce, in-house bakery, and premium meats. Discover relaxation reimagined at Sunset Beach Resort, with beachfront stays and dining that blends local flavor with ocean views, perfect for families and couples. At Cuts and Curve Fitness Center, where health meets lifestyle, with personal training, meal plans, a full gym, and on-site cafe. The SNS Prasad Group of Companies, building value, trust, and community across everything we do.
What if we told you that one course could boost your child's performance in every SCA paper? That's why Learn Smart TT has created an online comprehension and poetry course. This is completely self-paced with all tools accessed online. It's 30 passages, 30 poems. They can be downloaded or answered on our site. From there, students get access to answer sheets that have detailed options of how the answers could have been written. No other product on the market has this. In addition, they get access to a video tutorial with an expert teacher walking them through the passage or poems using high visuals and techniques to ensure they derive meaning. Also, we model how we derived each answer so they can do the same. If you want your child to enjoy all of these benefits and propel in comprehension, SCA, and general academic life, click the link above and register for this course and join hundreds of parents and students who are benefiting.
Kamla's decision not to consult with CARICOM on this rising tension is nothing big at all, because CARICOM will still take the same side that they're taking right now. CARICOM will still be criers in the Caribbean, and all the other Caribbean countries could be crying. Mia Motley, look at what Mia Motley did, and I so commend Mia Motley. And I when she went to these summits, Mia Motley stood on stage and was unique. Somebody different, somebody vibrant, someone that the Caribbean wanted to see during COVID and even after COVID. She was brave, she was boisterous. And that is the type of leadership that we at the time wanted in Trinidad and Tobago as well. But we got Keith Rowley, unfortunately. We got somebody like Keith Rowley who stood up on stage and fumbled his words. He fumbled the bag. He was a laughing stock. Trinidad and Tobago was a laughing stock. I don't know if you know that clip, right? But we were the laughing stock in the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, when Keith Rowley was our prime minister and stood up on stage and fumbled the bag. We don't need that anymore. We need a leader with a vision, a leader with a plan, a leader that cares, a leader that is boisterous as Kamla Prasad Bisesa, a leader that is demanding, a leader that is vigorous. You can leave it. We're going to come on. My light just came off in Trinidad's video. You could take it off if you want. Right? But that's a type of leadership that we need in Trinidad and Tobago, and we do not need someone like Keith Christopher Rowley anymore. You unplugged the wrong thing. Lord God, she's shutting down the whole studio. Just press the power button on the light. Yeah. Look at here. Look. Take the cord. All right. Leave it. Good. Leave it. Oh, Lord. Anywho, Trinidad and Tobago, thank you so much for viewing tonight. We have a lot more to talk about, because you see this? A Call for Calm and Clarity by Makila Pandey. This I wanted us to talk about a little bit tonight, because I don't understand how Makila Pandey is given so much headlines, so much front page, when in reality, she is irrelevant and her voice does not matter at all. In fact, the people didn't even vote. People didn't vote for Patriotic Front. But Patriotic Front headlines, 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 headlines. Why? Because it's an opposition voice. And then the opposition in Penelope Beckles so callous and so irresponsible that the media know every time they air the opposition, they air Penelope Beckles, no one wants to hear from Penelope Beckles. So you give us additional opposition. Look at here. You give us something else, something more, such as Makila Pandey, who disagree as well, right? Because the only thing the media could say is that everybody disagree with the government. They will never play persons that agree with the government, and I see NC3. But anyway, Trinidad and Tobago, it was a great one tonight. I do want to thank you so much for joining. It is a sad day for the world, again, as we mourn the loss of a brother, of a fellow colleague, of an activist, of someone that is very boisterous, Charlie Kirk. Again, condolences go out to the family of Mr. Kirk. He leaves behind 2 children. Not a nice way to end this life, but condolences to Charlie Kirk and, well, to Charlie Kirk's family once more. All right, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Trinidad and Tobago. I hope to see you here on Saturday, Weekend Review with David K. Welch. Have a great night.